This is Channel 4 with the 24th Super Bowl.
Live from the Louisiana Superdome, New Orleans, this is Super Bowl 24. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. It's Super Bowl 24. Every player and coach that's ever been associated with the NFL has dreamed of participating in this, the final match of the NFL season. The site of today's big game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos is the Superdome in New Orleans, where the noise from over 70,000 fans will be deafening, hence the need for these headsets. And joining me for tonight's match are two men who are well aware of just how important a victory is to both these teams. Walter Payton, the NFL's all-time leading rusher, and Don Shula, a man who has more wins under his belt than any other coach in the NFL. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Walter, you had to wait 11 years in the NFL before you played in a Super Bowl. What did that mean to you?
I'll tell you what, the previous year we lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the championship game, and I felt that that was it. That was my last shot at ever getting into a Super Bowl. And we dedicated the next season to getting into the Super Bowl. And I tell you what, it meant everything to my career, because even though you don't look at it as, well, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you had a dismal career. But for me, I wanted to be there to participate, just to have the feeling of what it was.
Was it just participating or was winning? Was winning the main thing?
At one time, I just wanted to get there because I never thought I would. I never thought about winning. But then once I got there, I said winning was everything.
Coach Shula, you have been to 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, more than any other coach in the history of the game. Now, your first one was obviously exciting. Was the 6th one as exciting?
No question about it. The 6th one was more exciting. And I know a little bit about winning and losing Super Bowls because we won 2 and lost 4. So there are 2 teams in Super Bowl week, and during the week, both of them are talked about the same way. Glowing reports about both football teams. When the game's over, there's only one winner, and the other team goes back home and waits for next year. But the excitement all week long is there. The way that the game has grown, I remember we were in Super Bowl III, and the press conferences used to be held in the lobby of the hotel with maybe 20 or 30 writers at the press conference. Now they're held in big ballrooms all during the week. You have thousands of writers there from all over the world, so there's been a big difference in the popularity of the game.
It's definitely grown a lot in the last few years. But a Super Bowl isn't only significant to players and coaches. Over 120 million viewers will watch this game live in America alone, and millions more will join them from around the world. Traditionally in Britain, Super Bowl games have attracted our largest audiences, and many of you will be watching American football for the first time tonight. So while all you armchair quarterbacks run and make a quick cuppa, Gary Imlach, our own first-year man, will give all you rookies out there a quick run through the basic rules of the game.
The basic aim is to get the ball into the opponent's end zone. A team has 4 attempts or downs to move the ball 10 yards. Throughout the game, you'll see and hear references to how a team is doing in its attempt to get those 10 yards. So a team that's 1st and 10 is having its first go at making those 10 yards. If, as in this example, it manages to make 5 yards in that attempt, it's now on a 2nd and 5. In other words, the second attempt with 5 yards still left to make. Here they manage another 4, so they're on a 3rd and 1, as this is the 3rd down and they still need another yard to reach the magic 10. If a team fails to reach 10 yards, their opponents take over. So on a 4th attempt, you'll usually see the team kick the ball as far upfield as they can, so that their opponents start their sequence deep in their own half. There are only 4 ways of scoring. A touchdown is worth 6 points. There are 2 ways of scoring a touchdown: running the ball across the line or catching it inside the end zone. A point after touchdown is rather like a conversion in rugby, and it's worth 1 point. If a team runs out of downs within a reasonable distance of the end zone, it may try a field goal worth 3 points. It's 2 points for the other team.
Well, I hope that helped you all. Believe me, it does get easier as you tie it in with the game. Other than the match itself, there's a tremendous amount of hype that goes into the build-up to this game. So he sent Gary on a mission to catalogue the host city's preparations and welcoming parties for all the folks involved in Super Bowl 24.
The most influential sports reporters in the country are here for the Super Bowl.
Not to mention the most influential reporters from the rest of the world. The Super Bowl is a made-for-television special like only the Americans can make them.
From that other end and see if we can come in this way.
Everything about it is carefully rehearsed, including the game itself, so CBS can get its camera angles right. Although naturally the stars have stand-ins. In this case, the local high school players of the Jesuit Blue Jays, with Joey Caballero starring as the young John Elway.
It's big. I mean, I'm not going to forget it. I know that.
When we walked up the runway and walked onto the field, we looked up. It was like we were dazed. It was just amazing.
But that was the only respite from the cameras John Elway got all week, from the moment he stepped off the plane to the night he went out for a quiet drink with a few dozen photographers. In fact, there are more than 2,000 journalists in town, and players can actually be fined for not talking to them.
Building us up more than what it should.
As a result, they have to put up with probing on subjects ranging from their fitness to their favourite singer.
Janet Jackson.
Back at the NFL Media Centre, where staff from New Orleans Library are on hand to help, the questions get even stranger.
What's the full name of Tito of Yugoslavia?
What's the relevance of that to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. He didn't share that with us.
As reporting assignments go, though, the Super Bowl is more feet on the desk than foot in the door journalism. Reporters are spoon-fed information in daily press releases. But if they occasionally find it hard to digest, it's probably because they're busy digesting anything that doesn't move. In Super Bowl week, the right press credentials can be a free meal ticket. And when it comes to the big NFL party, journalistic priorities can get slightly confused. Which would you rather have, tickets to the game or tickets to the party? Both. The fans, at least, are here for the football and not shy about sharing their predictions for Sunday's game.
Niners ride Broncos!
Sunday night they died.
49ers, we declare this to be 49er land.
We're here to get serious. We're here to win the game.
As a precaution, though, both sets of fans seem to have started their post-game celebrations early.
Well,
as you can see, the party is still going on. It's just moved from the French Quarter down to the streets around the Superdome, which have been filling up with Broncos and 49ers fans since early this morning. The weather's fine, not that it matters back inside, of course. The atmosphere is even better, and all we need now, Mick, is a game which provides as much excitement as the festivities leading up to it.
Well, the people in New Orleans, Gary, definitely know how to party, and I hope that in the Dome today we're going to have a party of football. Right now it's time for a break. When we return, we'll take a quick look at the Broncos and 49ers road to the Super Bowl, and we'll hear more from Walter Payton and Coach Don Shula. Welcome back, everybody. Coach Shula, you've been in town a few days now. How have you enjoyed the party atmosphere of New Orleans?
There's always something to do in New Orleans. They're open all night down in the French Quarter. A lot of great food, great entertainment, excitement. What you have to do is figure out a way to lose weight, because you know that you're going to eat a lot and drink a little bit more than you should. So I try to get up early in the morning and jog and get some of those calories off.
Have you eaten some of that crawfish?
No question, the crawfish and the gumbo. Gumbo is my favorite. That's a mixture of all these different kinds of fish and shrimp and everything else. But that's the dish that's really famous here in New Orleans.
Well, they certainly know how to eat down here and cook. And Walter, you had a huge bash the other night, and you were hoping to be celebrating perhaps in the future. What was that all about?
Well, what we're doing was we're bringing the people from St. Louis down, the politicians and some of the people that are in the key positions that could help us facilitate this franchise deal that we're trying to get by going ahead and agreeing to build a Dome Stadium. And we invited all the owners and the people from the different NFL organizations in, and we just had a good old-fashioned Cajun hoedown, as they call it.
So you are hoping to become what?
An NFL owner. I want to be like Eddie DeBarlo out there.
Well, I hope you get it. It'll be nice to get your perspective among the 28 owners that are there right now. Well, although there's differing opinions on who's going to win today, it's fairly well agreed that both the 49ers and Broncos, both of whom finished the regular season with the best record in their respective conferences, deserve to be here. To see why, let's now take a look at how they arrived. The 49ers started their season with 3 away games. After beating Indianapolis, they found themselves losing to Tampa Bay inside the last minute of the game.
On the board, here's Montana. He'll run for it, and he scores.
In Week 4, San Francisco met the unbeaten Los Angeles Rams. In a tight game, Mike Lansford's field goal dealt the 49ers their first defeat of the season. San Francisco soon recovered by beating the Saints with one of the year's most controversial touchdowns.
Was he across the plane and still in control of the football? Across the plane of the goal line. There he is. He starts to spike. Whoa! Whoa!
The earthquake in California forced San Francisco to play New England at nearby Stanford Stadium due to damage to Candlestick Park. But the move didn't upset their routine as backup quarterback Steve Young led them to victory. And the following week, believe it or not, it was third stringer Steve Bono's turn. San Francisco cruised by New Orleans and Atlanta before their 6-game winning streak surprisingly came to an end. The Packers beat the 49ers 21-17, but as with their earlier loss, San Francisco bounced right back the following week.
Montana on a roll and a fake. Chase and then throws. Touchdown by Taylor. A great catch in the end zone. Whoa, boy. Montana looks to the right side. There is Rice, and he's in with a touchdown.
This is the best offensive football team I have seen in a long time.
It's a machine.
The machine then rolled over Atlanta again before finding itself 17-0 down against the Rams. But as Los Angeles found out, don't ever discount the 49ers.
And Montana throws it wide open at the 20-yard line is Taylor with the defensive back falling down. Newman can't make the tackle. Taylor is inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, touchdown San Francisco. As Taylor makes the catch, eludes Irvin, eludes Newman, chased by Kelm, down the sidelines he goes. He ran 92 for a touchdown before, he's in again.
Oh, this is a very weird game.
Weird indeed. That crazy win sealed the NFC Western Divisional crown. In the playoffs, the 49ers flew past the Vikings.
Over the middle, Brock, watch out. The race is on, it's Jerry Rice. One man to beat.
San Francisco won easily 41-13, and the following week, the Rams were their victims once again.
Kyle Tanner for the bumper to Taylor. Touchdown.
The 49ers cruised through 30-3 to qualify for their second consecutive Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos opened the season at home against AFC Western Division rivals Kansas City, and it wasn't an outstanding day for John Elway, who threw 2 interceptions. But Chiefs quarterback Steve DeBerg answered with 2 of his own, both resulting in touchdowns.
The pass is intercepted, big play!
Final, Kansas City 20, Denver 34. Week 2 found Denver in Buffalo, where David Treadwell started campaigning for a Pro Bowl bid with 4 field goals. This one a 24-yarder.
And Treadwell does it again.
Denver won 28-14. The following week, they went 3-0 with a win at home against the Raiders. Next on the schedule, arch rival Cleveland on the road and problems with the infamous dog pound. After numerous Denver players were hit with dog bones and eggs, referee Tom Dooley decided to have the teams change ends.
Flying debris, we're going to change ends of the field. Third down.
And with that change, it gave Cleveland the win advantage, enabling Matt Barr to kick this 48-yard field goal as time ran out. Denver suffers its first defeat, 13-16, and goes to 3-1. For the next 3 weeks, the Broncos got back on track, beating San Diego, Indianapolis, and Seattle. Week 8 found them at home in the cold against Randall Cunningham and the Eagles. But Elway found plenty of heat from the Eagles' defense. Sacked 7 times and throwing 3 interceptions, he said after the game, they've got good people up front on defense. They confuse you. Confused enough to give Denver its second loss, 28-24, bringing their record to 6-2. But again, after a defeat, they bounced right back with big wins over Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Washington, and Seattle to bring their record to 10-2 and clinch a playoff spot. Next, it was Los Angeles and Raiders' new head coach, Art Shell, where the Broncos played in their second overtime of the season. This one they lost 16-13. Next up, the Giants at home in the snow and cold. But big plays like this 57-yard touchdown pass to Dave Meggett gave the Giants an early 14-0 lead.
Meggett could be gone. On 31. Touchdown and no flags anywhere.
They went on to win 14-7 and bring Denver's record to 10-4. But with a playoff spot and home field advantage already secured, it really didn't matter. In their next 2 games, they crushed the Phoenix Cardinals 39-0 and lost to San Diego 16-19. So now the stage was set for the January 7th playoff with the much improved Steelers. And after a 2-week layoff, John Elway and his heavily favored Broncos found themselves in big trouble against the born-again Pittsburgh team. And it wasn't until late in the game that they took the lead and won by the narrowest of margins, 24-23. So now it was Cleveland again for the conference championship, and it was close until the 3rd quarter.
Elway throws on first down to Mobley, touchdown! Winder on the handoff, sweeping outside, touchdown! Down the middle, wide open is Winder, Sammy Winder, all the way, touchdown! 3 times in 4 years, the Denver Broncos best of the AFC.
Well, John was smiling after the conference championship, but he's lost twice in Super Bowls. Coach Shula, wanted to ask you a little bit about the two coaches in this game. Two different people, one veteran, one rookie. Seifert under Walsh for 10 years. Coach Reeves under Landry for a long time in Dallas. Do they bring two different philosophies to the game?
Very much so, but they both had great training. As you mentioned, Reeves under Landry, and then Bill Walsh being the head coach that won the Super Bowl last year with Seifert as an assistant. I know how Dan Reeves feels. He's 0-2 right now as a Super Bowl head coach. I started out my career 0-2 as a Super Bowl head coach, and I didn't want to go 0-3. So I know the pressure that's on Dan Reeves. He doesn't want to be known as a coach that can't win the big football game. He's going to have his football team ready to play. George Seifert, on the other hand, was a very, very good assistant coach under Bill Walsh. He hasn't tried to change a lot of things. They're pretty much doing the same things that they did under Walsh. He's giving them maybe a little bit more freedom. Montana at the line of scrimmage. But Seifert knows what's going on. He has the respect of the players, and they're playing hard. They want to win this for Seifert.
Well, we'll be talking a lot more about the coaches as the game goes on. But, Walter, I want to now come to you. The Denver Broncos have lost 2 games in the Super Bowl, but they're bringing something that they haven't brought before, a running game. Talk to us a little bit about their running game.
Well, their running game is very much improved from it was last year, but the only problem with it this year is their guy, Bobby Humphrey, has sore ribs, and it's going to be hard for him to really play up to his potential for the whole game. You can see when you have a guy like him who has that versatility, the strength, the size, and the speed, it makes the job very easy for Elway because they know they can't key on the passing game. No team has ever won the Super Bowl that hasn't had a balanced running and passing attack.
And you say that it helps the passing game. And, Coach, I'm going to come to you with John Elway. You obviously have a great quarterback down in Miami and Dan Marino. How good is John Elway?
Well, Elway came out of that same class of quarterbacks. They all came out of college together. Elway was the first player taken in the draft. And the reason that he was the first player taken in the draft is that he has so much athletic ability. Here he is on what they call a quarterback draw. He's up like he's going to pass, and then it's a designed running play with a blocking taking place in front of him. He's like a running back when he has the football under his arm and running with it. So he can make things happen running with the football. He has probably the strongest arm of all the quarterbacks in the National Football League. He can throw it a long way, 70, 75, 80 yards down the field. And he also is a quarterback that can make things happen by coming out of the pocket and avoiding tacklers and then throwing the ball across the field. One of the great throws, this is in the championship game here last week, where he throws it across his body, a very tough throw for a quarterback to make, over the head of the defensive back, Minifield from Cleveland, and into the hands of the receiver. I think that Elway played his best football game as a quarterback in the National Football League last week. He's going to have to play that kind of a football game here today for Denver to have a chance to win it.
That's right. A lot of people have said that he doesn't have the touch of a great quarterback, but he really showed there that he does. And if you remember, Kozar quickly then threw an interception trying to throw a similar pass. Now, Walter, we just saw Johnson making that catch. They also have some pretty good receivers up there in Denver.
Well, they have some real good receivers. They don't get the publicity that the rest of the guys get, like the guys from the 49ers, but they're consistent. Elway is very comfortable with them, and you can tell in the passing attack how he utilizes them. He has the outs that he goes to, the deep outs, and these guys are not afraid to come across the middle either.
They've also, Coach, they've got a defense, and something new has come in there with their new coach, but they've also got some players.
Right. They do have a new coach, and he's done an excellent job. What they do is play a containing type of defense, and they give you a look that's always the same. So when Montana comes up to the line of scrimmage, he's going to see these 4 cross people in the secondary, and then he's going to have to make a decision after the ball is snapped as to whether or not it's a man-to-man type of coverage or whether they're zoning off. Of course, nobody's better at doing that than Montana. But Wade Phillips has done a good job with this defensive football team, and you're going to see one of the reasons that they're here, he's brought them from 26th in the league to 3rd in the league on team defense.
That's right, and one thing that their defensive backs are going to do, Walter, they're going to hit you. And the man they're hoping to hit is a man named Jerry Rice that has had 17 touchdowns this year, which is only 4 less than the entire offense of the Denver Broncos. How good is Jerry Rice?
Well, I don't even think Jerry has reached his full potential yet. He still can get better than what he is because he has so much raw innate ability that so a lot of times he doesn't work as hard, he doesn't apply himself as hard until he's being pushed by someone else or until he's frustrated or somebody shuts him down. But if he puts his mind to it, I tell you what, there will be somebody walking around with an eraser taking out all the records in the receiving category because they'll be placing his name beside him.
Okay, well, they're great receivers. Then on defense, they've got a fellow named Ronnie Lott. But that's really the Knights. Then you've got Joe Montana, the king. How good is he?
He's having the best year of any quarterback in the history of the National Football League as far as percentage of completions, and he's really at the top of his game. He's won Super Bowls before. He has the confidence that he can do it. Here you can see that he's an excellent athlete outside the pocket, great vision. He can spot receivers down the field, and then when he throws the ball, he throws it with accuracy, better accuracy than anybody else has ever had. So Montana, too, like Elway, is a quarterback that can move around and throw the football. His arm isn't as close to being as strong as Elway's, but he has all of these other things going for him, including the ability to run when he has to. So both quarterbacks can do everything that you would want a quarterback to do.
Well, we've just been talking about the 49ers. They've also got a couple of others like Craig and Rathman. And to see them being introduced, let's now go down to the field.
And now let's meet the starting offense for the San Francisco 49ers. At 6'1", 185, he caught the winning touchdown in last year's Super Bowl. At wide receiver from Delaware State, number 82, John Taylor. At 6'6" and 299, starting his second Super Bowl at left tackle from Michigan, number 77, Bubba Paris. At 6'3", 265, starting his second Super Bowl at left guard from Georgia, number 62, Guy McIntyre. At 6'4", 260, starting his second Super Bowl at center from Hawaii, number 61, Jesse Sapolu. At 6'6", and 275, making his first Super Bowl start at right guard from Texas Arlington, number 69, Bruce Valley.
Gotta want this shit!
At 6'4", 280, making his second Super Bowl at right tackle from North Carolina, number 79, Harris Barton. .6'4", 230, making his first Super Bowl start at tight end from Santa Clara, number 84, Brent Jones. At 6'2" and 200, the most valuable player in last year's Super Bowl, wide receiver from Mississippi Valley State, number 80, Jerry Rice. At 6'2", 195, a two-time Super Bowl most valuable player, the quarterback from Notre Dame, number 16, Joe Montana. At 6 feet, 214 pounds, he holds the single-game Super Bowl record for touchdowns with 3 in Super Bowl 19 at running back from Nebraska, number 33, Roger Craig. At 6'1", 232, he led all NFC running backs in receptions this year with 73. At running back from Nebraska, number 44, Tom Rathman. And the head coach with the most wins of any head coach in his first season, George Seifert. Let's now welcome the champions of the American Football Conference, the Denver Broncos. And now let's meet the starting defense for the Denver Broncos. At 6'6" and 272, playing in his first Super Bowl at left end from Florida State, number 92, Alfonso Carricker.
Let's go.
At 6'3" and 265, he'll be making his first Pro Bowl appearance at nose tackle from Utah State, number 71, Greg Tragan. At 6'4" and 265, he had a career high in quarterback sacks this year with 9. At right end from Washington, number 90, Ron Holmes. At 6'1", 235, making his first Super Bowl start at left outside linebacker from LSU, number 56, Michael Brooks. At the other linebacker for the Denver Broncos, Rick Dennison, number 55. At 6'3", 240, in the Pro Bowl this season for the fourth time in 5 years. At right inside linebacker for Minnesota, number 77, Carl Mecklenburg. At 6'5", 240, he led the Broncos in quarterback sacks this season with 12. At right outside linebacker from Houston, number 73, Simon Fletcher. .5'11", 185. He led the Broncos in interceptions this season with 6. Left cornerback from North Dakota State, number 34, Tyrone Austin. At 5'10", 186, starting his first Super Bowl at right cornerback from Nevada, Las Vegas, number 24, Wyman Henderson. At 6 feet 3 inches, 200 pounds, he'll be making his third Pro Bowl appearance. The Broncos' defensive MVP this season at strong safety from the University of Southern California, number 49, Dennis Smith. At 6'3", 217 pounds, as a rookie, he led the Broncos in solo tackles this season. At free safety from Arkansas, number 27, Steve Atwater. And the head coach, making an NFL record 8th appearance in a Super Bowl as a player and a coach, Dan Reeves.
Well, now you've seen the faces of the men that are about to go to war. Join us after this break for the kickoff of Super Bowl 24. Welcome back. For those of you that have just joined me, I have Walter Payton with me, the leading rusher in the history of the NFL, and Don Shula, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Walter, we just saw the players being introduced. You've been down on the field, you've been in that situation. What's that like, and who looked the most relaxed?
Well, that could be misleading as well. If you're too relaxed, then the other team comes out more fired up than you, and it puts you at a disadvantage. If you're too fired up, then you come in and you do things overly aggressive. You don't do things natural, and then you make a lot of mistakes. I think both of these teams were about even.
They're about even going into the game. I wish I had had the opportunity to know what that feels like. You both have. Let's now go to the field for the national anthem.
To honor America, here to perform our national anthem is New Orleans' own Grammy nominee, Aaron Neville.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars to the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare above bursting in air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, guys, it's now time to put your predictions out there for everyone to hear in Britain. Coach Shula, you first.
Well, it's tough to pick against the 49ers, but I'm going to. I think Denver's got a chance to win. They've got to play a perfect game. The 49ers got to make some mistakes.
Walter?
The way I look at it, if Elway proposes a big enough problem for the 49ers, Denver has a chance to win. But if they don't have that running game to take some of the pressure off of Elway, it's going to be the 49ers. So I didn't say who was going to win, but maybe 49ers.
You're going with 49ers. Coach, you give Denver a chance. Why?
I just think that Elway has got so much talent that he can put some points on the board. I think that Denver's defense is better. The 49ers, if they play like they've been playing, they're unbeatable. But if they make some mistakes and they're not quite ready to play, I think Denver's got a chance to win it.
Walter, 49ers, their offense, can they keep moving like they have against the Minnesota Vikings, like they have against the Rams? Are they going to do that today and win by a lot?
Well, I don't think they cover the spread, and the spread is 12 points. I think it's going to be a much closer game. But we'll be able to tell how the game is going to go by the end of the first quarter, because if San Francisco gets up ahead and then Denver has to go into a passing game, it's going to play right into San Francisco's hand. But I hope that the running game of Denver is there, because if that's there, then it's going to be a whole different ball game.
Well, it's like you said earlier, Bobby Humphries has an injury to his ribs.
Yeah.
Let's hope that he plays well. Right now, we're going down to the field for the coin toss. It'll be Pat Summerall and John Madden that'll give us uninterrupted coverage of Super Bowl 24.
This, I think, John, is one of the most difficult times in participating in a Super Bowl. The long wait after you leave the locker room to get to the field to get on with the contest.
Well, you know, when you really think of it, Pat, it's been about 40 minutes since a warm-up. They would come out, warm up, and then go in, and then come back and have to stand out here.
At midfield to toss the commemorative coin are the 1989 Hall of Fame inductees Terry Bradshaw, Art Shell, Mel Blount, and Willie Wood. Joining them are the San Francisco and Denver team captains. The referee for today's game, Dick Jorgensen, will now conduct the coin toss ceremony.
San Francisco, you are the visiting team and will be calling the toss. This is the commemorative coin. This side is heads. This side is tails. This side is heads. This side is tails. Denver, who will be your spokesman? 54 will be the spokesman. Mr. Montana, would you please call the toss in the air? Willie Wood, will you represent your fellow inductees into the Hall of Fame and toss the coin? Go ahead and toss it, call it in the air. Tails is called. Heads it is. Denver, you will receive. Which goal will you defend that goal? Denver has won the toss, will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
So we'll see John Elway and the Denver offense first. And that has to encourage them already.
You know, anytime in a big game, I always like to lose the coin toss and let my defense go out there and play first.
Let's get a quick comment from the sideline and Will McDonough.
Yeah, Pat, I think the big thing down here so far is San Francisco out here is trying to pull the psych job. They've been quiet, understated, as if to say to Denver, listen, we're the champions, and this is no big deal. Now let's go to Irv Cross on the Denver bench.
Well, Earl Leggett, the defensive line coach of the Broncos, gave me a little insight to their game plan. He said, today we're going to be aggressive. We're going to attack. The only way to beat Montana is to get him out of his 1-2-3 rhythm. We've had great practices this week, and we're ready to put the heat on him. Pat, John?
All right, Irv. We thank you both. You like to be on defense, huh, John?
I think so. I always think in a big game, you don't have to get your guys pumped up. They're usually too pumped up. So if you're playing with a pumped up group, you'd rather have your kickoff team playing and your defense first. Because I'll tell you, John Elway is so pumped up and he is so strong that he could throw a 20-yard pass. He could throw it 50 yards the first time he throws it.
Well, Carrington and Bell will be back deep for the Broncos. And Mike Kofer will kick it off for the 49ers. Very strong leg. And Super Bowl 24 about to get underway. As I said earlier, John Madden and I have been here 10 days, and we're about as psyched up as anybody.
Dan Reeves was saying, I just can't wait to get this thing started. I think everyone feels that way.
Line drive, kickoff handle at the goal line by Bell. To about the 23, tripped up by Steve Hendrickson. 49ers will take over. I beg your pardon, the Broncos will start it. John Elway, the quarterback of whom John Madden was just speaking, 2-0 against the 49ers. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 23. Orson Mobley will be starting at tight end instead of Clarence Kay. Steve Sewell split wide to the left. That's a new wrinkle. Bobby Humphrey is the lone setback. Elway to throw it. And underthrew it. Intended for Mark Jackson. Let's look at the 49er defense. They start with a three-man front that changes from time to time. Hope, Michael Carter starting, and Kevin Fagan up front. Haley, Millen, Walter, and Turner, the linebackers. And in the secondary, Pollard, Griffin, Ronnie Lott, Chet Brooks, the two safeties, and Eric Wright and Tim McKyer when they go with the extra defensive back. Melvin Bratton in the backfield now, this time with Humphrey. 2nd and 10 from the 23. Fake to Humphrey. Elway misses again. And I think you said something quite correct in the beginning, John. He's so pumped up that those first two passes have been overthrown and just not close.
That's right. And eventually he'll get in some kind of rhythm in this game. But you hate to have to come out first and do it in a big game like this, and then your first 2 plays are passes, and that is a very tough thing to do.
Brings up 3rd and 10. Sewell in the shotgun formation with Elway. Haley forced Elway out of the pocket, and he was taken down by Pierce Hope. And the Broncos fail on their first possession, and they'll have to punt.
I think those were the things the 49ers wanted to do. Good defense the first time they get in the shotgun. Not only put pressure on Elway, but keep him contained.
Horan, left-footed punter, high to John Taylor. Fair catch. About the 34-yard line, the 49ers will take over from there as a scuffle broke out on the other side of the field. 40-yard kick. Here comes Joe Montana. And has he been spectacular of late? Almost perfection. In front of him, an offensive line of Bubba Paris, McIntyre, Sapolo, Bruce Colley, Harris Barton. The tight end is Brent Jones. The formidable backfield of Roger Craig and Tom Rathman, and the 2 magnificent wide receivers, Rice and Taylor. Rice on the move. Fake to Craig. Montana overthrows Brent Jones. Steve Atwater made the contact. Here's the defense for Denver. Carricker, Cragen, and Holmes up front. The linebackers Brooks, Dennison, Mecklenburg, and Fletcher. And a tough secondary, particularly the safeties of Atwater and Smith, with Braxton and Henderson, the cornerbacks. And when they need 6, it's Robbins and Corrington. Rathman is out and Terrence Flagler is in. That's Flagler in motion. To Craig. Roger Craig to midfield. Knocked out of bounds by Wyman Henderson. Rice with a good block.
The other guy that got a good block was a right tackle, Harris Barton. Again, that's his counter play. Watch number 79 pull out here. Right there. See 79? He's going to come and make the block right there on Mecklenburg, the first block. Then he gets another linebacker. Harris Barton formed that lane for Roger Craig.
That's artwork for an offensive lineman. Montana back to throw it. Incomplete. Intended for Roger Craig.
Well, you know, the 49ers with Mike Holmgren, now they script only their first 15 plays. And then Mike Holmgren told us, and Joe Montana said, that in the first 5 specifically, they would like to get the ball to Jerry Rice. This is what, the 4th play coming up?
Right. 2nd and 10 from the Denver 49. Roger Craig. Got maybe a couple stopped by Ron Holmes. Roger Craig had the flu, missed an entire day of practice earlier in the week, lost 9 pounds.
Hey, he went from 214 to 205. He was wearing a sweatsuit yesterday and was showing how baggy it was. It just hung on him like a sack. He said that maybe he'll be quicker. He feels strong, but I think the big test for Craig will be in the second half.
This will be a good test right here for the Denver secondary. 4 wide receivers for the 49ers. Screen pass, Craig. Stopped by Atwater, but it should be close to a first down. A pickup of 9 it is. First down, San Francisco.
Yeah, one of the things that had the Broncos so concerned was Roger Craig, but the first guy missing him. He said that they have looked at film, and Roger Craig makes the first tackler miss him more than any back they've seen. And then that's why they get so many big plays, because not only does Roger Craig do it, that's the same thing their ends do. Atwater is the linebacker in the Broncos nickel. He had Craig all the way, man-to-man.
And Craig just got away from it. First down, 49ers. Montana go to work again. Rice. Close to another 49er first down. Tyrone Braxton was the first man to hit him. 9-yard gain, call it.
See how many Broncos were on that tackle, though? That's one of the things that the Broncos want to do defensively. They know that Rice is going to catch some pass, and Craig is going to get his plays, and John Taylor. But the minute they catch a pass, they want to be there to knock it away or make the tackle. Don't let them take that little one and make a big one out of it.
2nd and 1. In motion. The ball carrier hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards by Brooks and Carragher.
Mike Brooks is that strong side linebacker. Watch him. He is up here at the end there. Now he is going to come. He's coming on a blitz, so he starts. He gets penetration. Rathman misses a block. You don't see a lot of Rathman misses. But when he missed him, Michael Brooks was right there for the tackle and the loss.
That makes it 3rd and 4. Extra defensive backs in the game for Denver. Rice started in motion. Montana has to come out of it. And slides for another 49er first down at about the 22-yard line. A pickup of 10.
You know, anytime you give a quarterback a lane to run in for a first down, he has to take it. Watch this lane. We stop it right there. You see the big hole there. You look at this hole, the lane here. Now Montana knows if he can get to here, he has the first down. That's what happens when your pass rushers get out of their pass rush lanes.
1st and 10 at the 22. No score yet. Off way to Craig to the 20. Simon Fletcher brought it down.
When the team gets to the 20-yard line, the 20-yard line in, that's called the red zone. Now the 49ers feel that the Broncos, one of the best things they do is play defense in this area. A lot of times they'll rush 3 and they'll drop 8 guys. So they figure that rather than passing in this zone, they think they can have more success running.
2nd and 8. Typical 49er drive. Montana looked to Rathman, hits Rice. Rice scores for San Francisco. Didn't take long.
Another one of those Joe Montana drives. Jerry Rice, a big play. And the thing, Denver did the thing they said they couldn't do. When they catch the ball, you got to tackle them. They didn't.
And one of their best tacklers is the one who hit Rice and bounced off, Atwater. Hofer for the extra point. Held and holding. And the 49ers take the early lead after a 10-play drive. San Francisco 7, Denver nothing. Kept the ball 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Typical Joe Montana 49er drive, as John Madden said.
Earl Liggett was there talking to the defense of the Broncos, and he's telling them that we have to get our hands up and take care of those pass rush lanes, because they didn't when Montana ran and picked up a first down. Then on the touchdown pass, no pass rush whatsoever.
Bell and Carrington back deep, and that's Carrington with the ball. Hit, knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Romanowski.
Let's watch the touchdown again, Pat, and we'll see. Jerry Rice is here, and he's going to come right in here to the middle and uncover. Montana gets back. He tries to throw to the right, can't find anyone, and comes later to right. Watch him. He's even going to come on a little roll to the right. And then he looks and looks and looks, but look at the pass protection he has. Look at the time he can look all the way. Then Rice uncovers. Now 1, 2 missed tackles.
And that you cannot do. Elway with a shovel pass up through to Humphrey. Bobby Humphrey almost broke it. Ronnie Lott finally tripped him up. A pickup of 28, playing with 2-track ribs. But they didn't bother him then.
Bobby Humphrey has added so much to this Bronco offense. They've always been a passing team and a John Elway, but when they got Humphrey, they got a runner. They got a 1,000-yard runner. I'll tell you, the 2 guys that love him is one is Elway, because it takes the pressure off him. The other one's the entire offensive line.
1st and 10. Same play, and they botch it. And the 49ers get it back. Now they say no. It's a forward pass. And it's just an incomplete pass.
You know, this stuff really isn't trickery. For most teams, you would call these trick plays. For the Broncos, this is part of their basic offense. It's just called a shovel pass. Here he shovels, Humphrey isn't looking, and the shovel hits him right in the back.
Shovel too quick.
Yeah, or Humphrey looked too late.
2nd and 10 from the San Francisco 47. Clarence Kenny in the game. Now here's Humphrey again. Close to a Denver 1st down. Stopped by Chet Brooks and Tina Turner.
You know, I like what Humphrey is doing there. He's breaking through the hole. Now watch the pass protection here. They start to pass protect, make them rush, then that gives holes for a delay for the running game. See, when the defense is going to take off after Elway, then they can give that delay play or draw play to Bobby Humphrey. That's what he's been so effective on all year.
And he got another Bronco 1st down. Humphrey moves out. Clarence K is the tight end. Humphrey again. Out of bounds. Gain of 6. Stopped by Michael Walter and Chet Brooks again.
I think this is why the Broncos were so concerned about Kay being able to play. Watch him, number 88 here. You see how he can block Tina Turner. He just gets him knocked out. Kay was the guy who created that hole for Bobby Humphrey.
Elway was saying yesterday that this guy is the better blocker. Mobley perhaps the better receiver. 2nd and 4.
I think if Humphrey's playing, you would rather have Kay in there.
Mobley in motion. Draw play, Humphrey again. Picked up 3, so that leaves about a yard short of another Bronco 1st down.
You know, the Broncos run about 75% of their plays are draw play. I was talking to Bobby Humphrey, remember, in the locker room the other day, and he said that just about all of his plays in this Bronco offense are delay and draw, that type of thing. And with his quickness, that's a great play.
Jim Burt now in the middle of the 49er defensive line. Elway. Ball for the 1st and got it.
They did a good job there. That Keith Karts and Doug Waddell really take off. Watch the center here. The block, boom, boom. They get this going back, and then they can get the 1st down. Watch 72, Keith Karts, Doug Waddell. They get that pile going back. John Elway just gets in behind it.
Coach Elway is a big, strong guy. Humphrey now is the lone setback again. It down. 3rd time they run that play. Once it was great, twice it was near disaster.
I know it, and that time he looked like he was going to shovel the ball to